Hamza is wrong about NoFap. So, the past few videos, you have seen me documenting my journey outside of gooning. Okay? We're no longer stroking the chicken. We are healing from prawn. We're healing from shrimp. We're no longer strangling the rooster. And we are no longer petting the labradoodle. If you are picking up what I am putting down. Now, Hamza is wrong about this entire ordeal of NoFap. First of all, my name is Aaron Cortez, Orthodox Christian. And the reason as to why I say Hamza is wrong about NoFap is because his entire ethos is this: don't etch your days into your walls, don't make it your whole identity, don't even think about it, just adopt the idea of not being a gooner. Okay. And what does a non-gooner do? What does somebody who doesn't shoka the shiken do? He doesn't shoka the shiken. He doesn't have to write things down on a wall because he's no longer he doesn't shoka the shiken, because it's like this idea of, why would I need to quit smoking if I don't smoke? There's nothing to quit because I am no longer a smoker. But let's actually think about this for a second. The reality is we are having the identity of our past actions. It's not a magic switch wherein you identify as something and all of a sudden you're that. Okay? We're not going to be like identifying as something and automatically that identification is our being. That's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. Now, of course, it'll help. It'll help. But ultimately, here's my ethos on things. Here's my actual ethos now. Here's how I tend to view things. Think of it like driving. Do you guys remember your first time driving, your first day of driving, your first week of driving? It's like you're 2 inches away from the windshield. You're like this close to the steering wheel, and you have to be so vigilant. You're vigilant. You're clawing. You're gripping the steering wheel like it's super glued to your hands, right? You don't even want to talk to anybody because you're so focused. But now you be driving, you be cruising, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you don't even, you're eating with two hands, you just like, you let go of the wheel for a second, you grab a drink. We're not supposed to do that, but we do that after you've already mastered it, after you've already had and put all the attentions. What do I mean by this? In the first few days, to maybe even the first few weeks, to maybe even the first few months, depending on how bad your addiction is, you have to put the intention behind it, because you're essentially replacing a bad habit with a good one. You're replacing a habit with a habit. What is the habit that you're replacing intentionally? The habit of gooning, the habit of choking the sheik and strangling the rooster. Okay, cock-a-doodle doing. You're replacing that with an intentional good habit, which is tracking it down, which is, okay, I'm gonna be putting intention into no longer gooning. You're gonna be putting intentions behind it. You're gonna be like, okay, well, I'm tracking it. This is the first day. This is the second day. Okay, what am I doing? Okay, I'm feeling the urges. Okay, now I'm putting intentions behind it. I'm feeling this intention. What can I replace this habit with? The feelings of endorphins and the dopamine and the urge, it's pulling me. I'm feeling that intention. What can I replace it with? So you're building that intention behind it. You're putting that intention behind it. Same way how you build any habit. You first have to stick with it. You first have to put so much intention and focus into it. Maybe you have to etch it on the wall. It doesn't matter. For me, after like 2 weeks, I kind of coast. By coasting, I mean I sometimes lose track of the days. And even though I don't track that day, I didn't goon. For me, it's 2 weeks. Maybe for you, it'll be 21 days. Maybe for a lot of you people, it's half a year. So put that intention behind it. It's gonna be rough. It's gonna be hard for the first few. But after a while, it's kind of like driving, like doing any other habit or habitualizing any activity. You put intention behind it first. That's why Hamza's wrong, because he's never really like, no, he don't put your NoFap day streak. Why not? Why not? Ultimately, he's gonna fail. Well, if he failed after like 1,063, did he actually fail? You give your Hamza is all about giving grace to people. Well, if it's not about the streak, then if he breaks the streak, then it really doesn't matter, does it? Because it was never about the streak, in your opinion, in your ethos. So if it was never about the streak, who cares if it got broken? Did he actually fail? Well, no, because it doesn't matter. So let's talk about these things. Okay, I actually Googled, exact Orthodox Church fathers Bible verses on the absolute horrors of gooning, of lust, as well as how to defeat lust. So this is what Saint John Chrysostom has to say about the matter. Saint John Chrysostom he wasn't the bishop of Constantinople, but he was a bishop. He says this. He says, lust is a sharp sword, a multi-dimensional beast. It makes the soul a captive and a slave, and it leads to the very pit of destruction. This is the horrors. These are the horrors, the absolute atrocities to the soul, to the mind, to the body of gooning, of lust, of corn. This is what St. Gregory Palamas has to say about the matter. Lust is the mother of death. Lust is the mother of death. It darkens the mind and makes the soul like that of a beast, dragging it down from the heights of spiritual contemplation to the mire of the passions. Now, what does the Bible have to say about this? James chapter 1, verses 14 through 15. But each one is tempted when he is drawn away by his own desires and enticed. Then, when desire has conceived, it gives birth to sin. And sin, when it is full grown, brings forth death. Brings forth death. What's another Bible verse? Let's go with 1 John chapter 2, verse 16. St. John tells us, for all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life, it is not of the Father, but is of the world. And who does the Bible tell us that is the God of this world, if not Satan? So it is of Satan for us to have lust. Now we can feel lust. We can feel things. We can be tempted by things as Jesus himself was tempted, but we dare not sin. I believe this was St. Paisios of Mount Athos that talks about this, where our thoughts are like trains, are like airplanes. Like our thoughts are like the airport. Think of the airport, right? Planes land and planes fly. We can choose which plane to fly on. Think of it like a train. You're on a subway or you're on MRT, right? If you're Filipino, you're on the train station and trains just flying by, just passing by. You can choose not to ride the train. You can choose also to ride the train. That's how I want you to visualize sin. You can feel thoughts. You can look at a beautiful woman appears in your vision, and you think of a snap judgment, a snap thought, but then look away, as Joseph ran from lust. Let's talk about another one. Church Fathers quotes on defeating lust. This is St. John Climacus. St. John Climacus says this. He who thinks he can defeat the demon of lust through arguments and reasoning is like a man trying to put out a fire with oil. Only humility and physical labor can extinguish, this flame. That is a beautiful thing. He who thinks he can defeat the demon of lust through arguments and reasoning is like a man trying to put out a fire with oil. Only humility and physical labor. Think about that for a second. And physical labor. What did we talk about in the beginning of this video? We talked about intentions, intentionality, physical labor, replacing the bad habit with good habits. What did your boy do today? He ran for the first time in months. I don't like running. I hate cardio. I love walking. I love brisk walking. I freaking hate running. So your boy ran. We're going to try to run multiple times as well throughout the week. Sometimes I can't because your boy got two jobs, but we do, what we can that we do. St. Maximus the Confessor says this: the soul is purified from lust by intense prayer, by the reading of the Holy Scriptures, and by the remembrance of death. St. Mary of Egypt says this. St. Mary of Egypt is a beautiful saint. She was a harlot. Okay, she was a prostitute that went away to the desert in order to truly heal, in order to truly become a servant of Christ. This is what St. Mary of Egypt has to say. I fought against the waves of desire for 17 years as against wild beasts. But when the thought came, I threw myself on the earth and called upon the Mother of God for help until the light shone in my soul. I threw myself on the earth and called upon the Mother of God for help. So we must toil. We must replace the bad habit with good habits, with intentionality. If you have to etch the days at the streaks up against the wall, do it. Do it. Put some fire on your ass. Put some fire on that ass and start running. I pray that the Lord Jesus Christ bless each and every one of you. And may the Lord guide you in your journey to Holy Orthodoxy and also in your journey from healing against prawn. Subscribe to this YouTube channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video. And always remember, Jesus 100% loves you.